Sorry.
Alright, hello, welcome to the Anna and Eric Book Club. I'm Anna, obviously from A Case of Books.
And I'm Eric from Lonesome Reader. And we've been planning this for so long, this is really exciting.
So we're here at Gaze the Word Bookshop to launch our new book club. So if you're in the UK, you will be aware of the cultural phenomenon that is Richard and Judy and their book club. Every year they pick 8 paperbacks that they would recommend, and we obviously love Richard and Judy, as I think you are obliged to do if you live in the UK. But we thought that maybe we would pick some books that we thought you might like to read if you're looking for something a little bit different.
Yeah, slightly different, slightly out of the box, and you know, if you want a slightly different perspective.
So we picked 8 books, they're all out in paperback, and they're 8 books that we think that you would love, that you might not have already heard of, and we would love to talk to you about them. So the plan is we're going to give you a really brief introduction to the 8 books now, and then we're going to discuss 2 at a time, once a month, for 4 months.
Yeah, in the last week of the month, we'll make a video talking about these 2 books. So we'd really like you to join in and engage by either commenting, letting us know your thoughts about the book, what you're interested in reading.
So, without further ado, here are the 8 books that we've chosen.
Okay, the first book in our club is going to be this novel, Nine Folds Makes a Purple. I always get the title wrong. Nine Folds Make a Purples. Paper purples. Okay, the first book on our list is called Nine Folds Make a Paper... sorry. The first book on our list is Nine Folds Make a Paper Swan by Ruth Gilligan. This is a novel that I sort of just jumped into. I had no idea what to expect, what it was going to be about, and just fell in love with it. It uniquely shows the Jewish experience in Ireland in 3 separate stories that take place over a century. It shows how these stories interact in like different ways. There's sort of commonalities between them, but also differences. And I love when novels show that like layered sense of time. We thought this book should really be on the list because it shows a really different side of the Irish experience. And also I feel like this book really deserves a lot more attention, and I think a lot of people would love it.
Okay, next is a common theme. These are all books that we think deserve more attention. And next is Under the Udala Trees by Tanella Okparanta, which is a book that both of us loved.
Yes,
and absolutely. That we both thought should have been on the Bailey's Prize last year.
Couldn't believe it wasn't. But yeah.
This is an absolutely brilliant debut, which starts during the Nigerian Civil War, but again, it's another book that covers actually quite a big span of time. We picked this because it's such an impressive debut, and it has such a great mix of, it's just beautiful lyrical writing, but covering big issues, and it's super readable and incredibly emotionally engaging, as well as being beautifully written, which I think is kind of what we're going for. We want books that manage to tick the box of both being incredibly beautifully written,
yes,
but also being a really good read.
Yeah, we massively enjoyed reading all of these books.
They're books that we were impressed by. We weren't just intellectually impressed, we were emotionally impressed as well.
Yeah, they're not books that we just feel like that we should be reading, but that we really want to read. Next is another Irish novel called All We Shall Know by Donald Ryan. His writing is so beautiful, so impactful. This is a story set in Ireland, shows another side of sort of Irish life about the travelers community, and a young woman who's 33 and pregnant by a man who is not her husband. It's another book that I feel like it just hasn't really gotten much attention, but it's such a powerful novel, so we both feel like it should really be read widely. Yeah,
it's one of the most convincing female voices by a male writer I've read, which is part of the reason I was really impressed with it.
That is high praise.
Next we've got a collection of short stories, because we really wanted to include a variety of like formats, so they're not all novels.
Not
so
just
this
novels,
is a collection of short stories, An Unrestored Woman by Shobha Rao. So this is a collection of linked short stories, which is my favourite kind of short stories, where there's kind of threads running through and characters crop up in more than one of the stories. And it revolves around the theme of the 1947 partition between India and Pakistan, and it focuses on women and the way that women in different places and ways of life were affected by that. Each story really stands on its own sort of 2 feet, but if you can actually read it from cover to cover, and there's a real narrative thread going through. So yeah, we wanted to have a really excellent collection of short stories, and this is one of our favourites from last year.
And next is another different type of book. It's a graphic memoir, The Arab of the Future by Riyad Sattouf. It's about the life of the author growing up in France and Libya and Syria, and his experience, that sort of childhood experience of all those different cultures. And because of the locations and the politics involved, I think you would assume that this is sort of heavy subjects, but it comes across as so engaging, and a lot of it's really funny. It's just sort of getting the quirky personalities of all the people in his life.
Although pretty black humour at times.
Some very black humour. So Riyad Sattouf has written and illustrated this, but it was translated by Sam Taylor.
Next is a YA book, which is Bone Gap by Laura Ruby. I'm a big reader of children's and YA books, and I really wanted to have at least one in there, and we think this is one of the best YA novels of the last year. It actually has been, it's been a really big deal in the US. It won the Prince Award, but it just never really kind of found that audience here. This is a kind of modern retelling of the Persephone myth, and it's this beautiful, lyrical, incredibly emotional, readable book. It's kind of dreamy and weird whilst also being really rooted in real life. And I think it's a really good example of how you don't have to be a teenager to enjoy YA.
The next book is The Good Immigrant, edited by Nikesh Shukla. And this is comes from an unusual source because it's not a traditional publisher. It was actually crowdfunded. This is a collection of personal essays, all by British authors, who are BAME, which stands for Black, Asian, Minority, Ethnic. And they're all talking about their personal experiences of what it's like to be BAME in Britain. So it's a real mixture of styles and voices. But what I think really comes through is that these are all stories that come from the heart. These aren't dry essays at all. They're really engaging and fascinating to read about.
Okay, so the last book that we've chosen is Your Heart is a Muscle the Size of a Fist by Sunil Yapa. So this book covers a really short span of time during the 1999 riots in Seattle after the World Trade Organization meeting, and it covers several different voices, which is something I have a real weak spot for. So we hear from several different people caught up in different ways, and they're linked to what's happening in different ways. So you have everything from protesters to people who are attending the talks to police involved, and it just builds into this really powerful picture of what happened. It's very much about class and the kind of whole 1% thing, and how much responsibility we have as people to look after people less fortunate than us. And it really made me think, and it also is it's just a hugely powerful read that really makes you question where your loyalties and ethics would lie if you were caught up in a situation like that. So we have one copy of each of these 8 books to give away so that you can read along with us and join in with the discussion.
Yes, we really want to get you involved in reading and discussing them and commenting and letting us know what you think.
So to win one of these books, leave a comment on this video saying which of the 8 books you'd most like to read and why, and then we will pick one person for each book. I'm afraid it's UK only for the giveaway, but the discussions are global.
Yes, global. Yeah.
So the first 2 books we're going to discuss at the end of July. We're going to be a bit vague about the specific date, but end of July. So the first 2, top of your reading pile, 9 Folds Make a Paper Swan.
And The Good Immigrant.
So yeah, read these 2 first, and then please email us or tweet us or leave a comment. I'll leave all the ways you can contact us in the description box. Send us your thoughts, your questions, and
any topics of discussion.
And so we can have a proper book club chat. So I hope at least one of these books, and hopefully all 8, have sort of piqued your interest. And we really hope that you will read along with us, whether you read 1 or whether you read all 8. Good Immigrant, 9 Folds Make a Paper Swan, end of July. We will see you there.